recap. So last time, shoot, what happened last time? You hung out with Ur and his crew, and made your way to Lampshade. This is after, we'll use the word liberating, the town of Aurora from Firefinger and defeating the super evil magic-eating Golden Griffin at the top there. And happened upon this troop of entertainers who had gotten messed up in a sandstorm, and then he brought them to Lampshade. And then in Lampshade, I lost my words there. In Lampshade, which is the first city of Durlusk that we have encountered on this adventure. Many of you passed through Durlusk as a nation before, but actually like interacting with the town, it's immediately apparent that knowledge and books are highly valued and coveted here. And just looking around, getting your bearings, it was brought to Korokon's attention that King is not here, and King was apparently going to be something of a bargaining chip or some sort of something that Khorzaire had planned in order to slide through customs a little easier. Since King was pulled away by something that happened in Tenuto, King unfortunately was dragged into an endless bureaucracy, which projected to take about a week or so. Getting your bearings around the town, Pastiche and Twig asking someone, what's good to do around here, and getting a few answers about where to go and what to see. Came flying through the air was a fire genasi named, she gave the name Fancy Mel.
What I say?
And came flying through the air and crashed into, well, the bike she was riding crashed into the water fountain, and then Pastiche cleverly cast Featherfall on her.
Remy. Stop.
Is there an unruly dog?
Stop.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunate.
Pastiche cleverly casted Featherfall on her, probably saving the person's life. And turns out that there were more lives to be saved when the bike exploded again, and these kind of animated explosions began exploding on everybody. Defeated them. Mel packed up the bags and packed up the rocks that they seemed to transfer into, and then scooted away and explained the situation to the Doomstriders that came up, and before finally landing on an orc friend of Zoaz's, an orc named Pine, and he has just cracked Zoaz's back in 3 different places, and a huge bear hug lifting him off the ground, and seems ready to do business. Pine with this huge grin, huge chin, and like a harness and subligar. He's not very close, showing off his physique. Still has Zoaz in the air as he peers past his form. Well, what can I do you for?
Zoaz lifted off the ground, his tail just sort of swishing against the dusty stone tiles. Put me down.
get the orc's attention, and then he looks up at you. Oh, sorry. And then just bloop, lets you go all at once.
Zoaz lands hard and staggers a bit. Well, Pine, it is good to see you, my friend. I suppose you can see by the state of our clothing, for lack of a better word, that we could perhaps be due for a wardrobe upgrade?
Absolutely. I've got the fluffiest fabrics in Khorzaire, and imported from other nations, as you well know. Definitely seem like you've been through the ringer. What's torn up your clothes, old shepherd?
Looks at the rest of the group, and then looks back to Pine, and says, should I, you may want to get a pen and paper for this one, my friend. The long, long list.
Alright, well, I've got quite a bit on me already. I might, depending on what you're after, might have to order it to get it imported in, but what's up? What do you want to wear?
Zoaz must have misunderstood. I must have caught your words incorrectly, Pine. I thought you were asking what had taken, or what had dealt the damage to our clothes, not what we were looking for.
Oh, well, certainly that too, Zoaz, but you know as well as I do, I tend to have a focus on the exchange.
Indeed. Well, I do have some stuff in mind, but, well, I believe some introductions are in order. This, my friends, as turns around, looks at the group, and says, this is, my good friend, Pine. I have known him for a fair amount of time, and he has supplied us shepherds, with many a tool in the past. And, lest you worry about the quality, I can assure you, as, you know, looks at what he was wearing, what he is still wearing, charred, says, well, this has withstood our adventures thus far, hasn't it?
Well met, Pine, Makayla. And if Zoaz speaks well of you, then I'm sure you'll... Well, I'm sure we can be assured that you'll be well suited for our task of, I guess, getting us all new clothing.
That indeed, Marm. I dabble in pretty much anything that the shepherds need, and quite a bit besides. You can see, like, he kind of, like, heaves his impressively broad shoulders, and, like, he's immediately got some tape measure out, and he's, as you all kind of, like, talk amongst the shelves or talk to him, he's just measuring your, taking your measurements so you can appropriately tailor something. So I guess go ahead, everybody, and pretty much whatever you want. Pine's got it, so go ahead and give us a redescription of your character as they step out of from behind just like a quick little privacy screen, and your new attire, what you look like, and that sort of thing, and then Pine will tell you how much it costs.
Oh.
After haggling a bit with Pine, perhaps trying to get a best friend discount, Zoaz would receive his newly tailored clothes. And as he steps out from behind the privacy screen, you would see him in a white robe, which exposes his chain shirt, not his bare chest. It has a hood, which is currently down, but a somewhat large hood. Seems to accommodate for his large Lizardfolk head, his mug. A dark purple stripe runs from the back of the robe all the way up to the top of the hood. It has big, baggy sleeves, colored white, and there's no stripe on these. At around shoulder level of the robe, there are 2 large ribbons of fabric that fall to about waist level, and on the ends of these ribbons are 2 thin full moon medals. On the outside edge of the ribbons, like the fabric that falls from the shoulders to the waist, are dark purple stripes. As Zoaz comes out, you hear these 2 medals jangling and clanging a little bit, and Zoaz is sort of fussing with them to try to get them to stop getting tangled up between his legs, and he is sort of not as comfortable in these as his old robes, but it is certainly a striking set of attire.
Sure, roll me a persuasion for best friend discount.
You got it.
With advantage.
With advantage, okay.
15, alright, sure.
Not bad, not bad.
You find that you have deposited, let's see, round down, 7 gold in Pine's coffers for this amazing set of attire.
Pretty pricey, but you know, best friend discount is putting in work.
Oh, whoops, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. It's actually 5 gold.
Oh, okay.
Gets better and better.
Yeah.
Pine's looking at you, kind of like nodding, stroking his huge beard on his huge chin, nods. You know, Zoaz, you wear it well, and he hands you 2 gold back.
Thank you. I suppose it'll take some time getting used to, but certainly do cut a dashing figure.
That's right. Only fitting for the best guy to this side of Khorzaire, you know.
And Zoaz will do a bow.
Nods and looks at the next person. From here on, let's have everybody, except for Xalia, because she's not there, roll a d20.
Oh yeah, Xalia's.
Being a menace.
She's hanging out in her. Oh wait, she didn't ever actually get hit by the flame wall, did she?
Xalia's clothes are still a mess from
Okay.
other wear and tear, but
Fair enough.
currently she is curled up, like knees to chest in a corner, unless we left at her. Pastiche,
chilling.
you're next.
All right. After digging around for a while, looking for the right look, Pastiche emerges wearing black, like, choli top, sleeveless, like, golden embroidery along the bottom half. Think something you'd see, like, a belly dancer wearing. Sort of robe from the waist down, kind of just knee-length. Dark purple, a bit more golden embroidery, a single sleeve along their left arm, black with more golden embroidery, and a few new rings around their ankles, around one of their, one side of their hood. It's fancy.
Looking good there.
Why, thank you.
Excellent. Took a bit to piece this outfit together. Let's see. There, your total comes to about 10 gold.
Why, that is much cheaper than I expected. Thank you.
Well, you got Zoaz here. He's basically bringing business to me. Why charge you all the regular price?
Pastiche will turn to Zoaz and bow. Thank you, friend.
Buckles. Just be sure he doesn't sell you on anything on the way out.
Oh, we've got more stuff.
Oh?
If you want it.
Zoaz cuts in. He'll take any opportunity he can to lighten your coffers.
Well, I did spend less than I expected.
We'll cut to Makayla.
Okay. Still trying to figure out the exact final look. But would you say if there's like a sort of fashion of the city or this area?
A fashion of
Like a general sort of styling?
anything that you would find, just deserty, arid, savanna-y areas.
Okay.
So like sheer
Alright.
fabric or like lots of wraps, robes.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the baggy pants, maybe.
So, alright.
Something that gives airflow. Because it's hot.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted the context for what I figured. I just wanted to check before. And again, still kind of not finalizing it, but also terrible fucking describing clothing. But it's so up until now, Makayla's mostly been wearing kind of very loose, flowy. What are they like? Fobs, like robes, and like you couldn't really get a great sense of what her actual, I guess, like outline was per se. But in comparison now,
Or silhouette.
yeah, silhouette. Thank you. And now it's like she be wearing still pretty like ultimately very modest and still pretty baggy, but they're not like robes anymore. It's more just like kind of loose, like a tunic kind of with like some baggy pants. Like she now with but all kind of still this darker gray with like red highlights and like various patterns, I guess, would be the kind of vibe. And specifically, no, it doesn't have like it has a hood, but it's currently down. So she has her gray hair in sort of a bun in the back, like pulled back. And she'd walk out sort of it has been much too long since I have been out of those traditional robes. I suppose I no longer serve that purpose in my tribe anymore, and so those clothes are now no longer need to be replaced.
You see this?
I figured I'd wear something more of the style of the city, I suppose.
You see this orc, arms crossed, looking you over. He's got the tape measure over his shoulder. He gives you a nod. Well, I'm glad we come up with something with a local we'll use the word flavor. A local flavor. 5 gold for the flavor.
Okay. With that, this is a steal.
And then in a cloud of tape measure, clippers, and garments, we go to Chuman.
So Chuman was kind of wearing some loose clothing around, slightly baggy pants, a robe with a little hoodie to go over. On the inside, he was wearing a kind of like a slightly reinforced leather. A little bit light at least, but enough to take a hit. But it was sometimes, meant for silent movement and at least to fit in the crowd slightly. So Chuman's for the most part going to continue with that attire. They'll probably go with the slightly tighter pants than before. Baggy pants got in the way a couple times for him.
Okay. Nodding with a job well done, Pine will charge you 10 gold for your explorer's outfit.
Gold it is.
And then Twig, as it becomes your turn, step up to this large, towering orc gentleman. He gives you a smile. And then and then we do like a screen wipe. and then go ahead.
As Twig is walking up, he's like securing the last of like a couple of packs and pouches to his armor. He's wearing dark brown leather armor with little studs of metal dotted throughout it. And there's just like packs and pouches and pockets just cluttered all over it. And after he finishes securing the last of the pouches, he covers it with like a somewhat plain gray cloak with a hood attached, but he has the hood down right now. Then he shoulders his backpack and nods to Pine and says, "Oh, what do I owe you?"
Well, most of it was just the holdings and the trappings and well, I guess most of it was the whole outfit. 10 gold, please, young one.
10 gold. That's reasonable, actually. Thank you.
Give you a nod. And kind of twirling the tape measure around, just like a piece of cord. Just looks over all of you. His eyes lay on Mitch, the owl. You can see a grin kind of creep over him. Zoaz, can I dress up the owl?
Zoaz looks at Pastiche. May he dress up the owl?
Well, I don't see why not.
Well, a new challenge for you, Pine. Dress up the owl.
Come here, buddy. And then he takes the owl behind the privacy screen because, privacy, of course.
Yeah, it's
and
important.
Then you hear just like a bunch of Taylor noises, like clip, 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 and then like measure, and then there's like a cartoon doink. And then out from the privacy screen is a big, huge green hand thrusts for the owl with there's like a fanfare. And the owl is wearing just like a little small, kind of like Little Tyke's aviator outfit.
Oh.
He looks ready to fly a plane.
Oh my, this is excellent.
I believe Mitch may have come out on top of all of us in terms of the style department.
Pine pokes his head out. Is it really?
Pastiche is going to like reach an arm out and coax Mitch over.
Waddles over. Hoot hoot.
Kind of looks him over a bit. Checks out a few different angles.
You notice that he's
why,
even
yes.
got like a little scarf.
Oh, okay. I assure you, he loves it.
Owl like head turns turns like 180 degrees, look at Pine, and goes hoot hoot. Gives you a nod. That one was my pleasure. Consider it outfitters discount since Moonlight Shepherds have so much supply from me.
Pastiche is going to fling him a couple extra gold coins anyway.
Yo, says Pine.
For work like this, you deserve compensation.
Thank you.
Oh, don't worry, he gets compensated.
Oh, hush you.
See the oh Wilhelmian Nobles conifer plunking the gold coins, little kind of like a little strong box. He locks it back and nods you all. Well, dusts his hands. What are you about to get into, Zoaz and Troop? Is there anything that I can do to assist you along? I happen to have some weapons and some other trinkets. And as he's talking to you, and as everyone is firmly in their clothes, these feel great, like fresh, dry. They're like, it's like taking a shower and then putting on like fresh clothes. And yeah, so everything's crisp, clean, smells great.
Not burning either. That's crazy.
You're not on fire all the time. The angles are perfect. The tailoring is well done. It's to your form or to your specifications. You feel like a new person.
Nice.
You're all sparkling. You all walk a little bit taller for the rest of the day.
Nice.
Zoaz will, responding to Pine's initial question, well, I believe that I will be doing my best to relax. Or maybe lay low would be the word for the next week or so. I'll be in town for that long. And I made a promise that I would not get into too much trouble.
Lay low, eh? Well, if you're in town for that long, let's have a dinner date, Zoaz. Let's go out and get a drink and talk about, I don't know, talk about whatever you fancy, I guess.
I can fill you in on the details of how my friends and I got here.
That'd be
And,
part of the story.
Oh, you wouldn't believe.
I can. Well, if we're catching up.
Griffins, Pine, griffins! This hidden dragon statue under Derelisk. We've been around.
Sounds like a tale as tall as me. I'd love to hear it.
Before we start boasting about tales of adventure, Pine, you wouldn't happen to know if there's some sort of someone perhaps willing to offer services of dispelling magics in this city?
He kind of like wrinkles an eyebrow. It's like, well, I wouldn't know too much about that. I'm just a traveling merchant, you see. I don't take too much stock in the happenings and goings on of wherever I stay. I'm just offloading and loading up. I know that there might be someone in Zoaz's old haunt, Nux Nox, but I wouldn't know if anybody would be here. You'll have to forgive me, Marm. You'll have to do your own snooping.
Appreciate the answer. And well, I'm sure I'll find someone. It's a big city after all.
If I may, perhaps one of the churches, which I'm sure there are some around here, would be willing to perhaps remove that curse.
Makayla, there's like a very quick hint of like a grimace on Makayla's face, but she kind of hides it just as quick as it comes. Yes, that makes sense. Would be plenty around here.
That's where I would direct you if we were in Luxnox, as Pine said.
Well, I suppose that is as good a place of any to start my search. Thank you.
If you're laying low, I'd say watch where you're stepping too. Make sure you don't trip over a rabbit. It seems to be a pandemic of these things, or an epidemic, whatever you call it. A swarm.
Infestation of rabbits?
I'm not sure. I just see them everywhere I look.
I look around. Are there rabbits?
Make a perception check.
Chuman's also gonna look around, puzzled.
Yeah. Yeah, you each spot the same rabbit. Maybe like to your right and maybe like 30, 50 some feet away, there's just a snow white rabbit just hanging out. Just sitting next to a crate.
I kind of just like point to it. And you're saying these things, there's an infestation of them throughout the city?
I don't know, Mom. All I'm saying is that there's an alarming number of rabbits here.
Where would they have come from?
Well, it is concerning to see that in an area like this, but Chuman just kind of trails off in thought.
I suppose they're just rabbits. I mean, there are much worse infestations, I suppose. Makayla is just like so confused on the implication of a rabbit. I guess swarm. Just
Yeah, Pine seems as confused as you are.
I'm gonna say, with a 19 perception check, Chuman gets to choose whether or not he notices Pastiche trying to keep their cool.
Pastiche, you seemed...
Yes?
Your attention seems to hugged in the wrong direction. Are you alright?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I was simply listening to our friend speak of this outbreak.
Should investigate it. It could be right up your alley with Mitch.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, 4 eyes are better than 2.
Right you are, right you are. Pastiche is going to start slinking towards the rabbit that was spotted.
Okay. Make a charisma check.
Alright.
Just straight charisma.
To charm the rabbit.
Oh my goodness. Alright.
Oh, what a roll.
You get within, like, you slink towards, like, doing just, like hunching up your body and, like, tiptoeing, trying to look as unassuming as possible at the cajoling of your peer. And, you get within about 10 feet of it. Like, it kind of, like, lifts up, and its front paws are, like, in the air, and you can see it, like, kind of turn its face turn its face away from you, and it's just like doop, 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 wiggling its whiskers.
Pastiche is going to flit their tongue and then very slowly extend an arm towards the rabbit.
The rabbit doesn't move. It just keeps like flicking its whiskers and just like looking around. You can see it like shift and like turn the other way, but it's still got like one of its eyes facing you.
Pastiche is going to keep approaching, palm up, hand fully open.
Okay. I'm gonna need another. I'm gonna need a performance check.
All right.
If this fails, I'm not looking at. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna.
The
Can I
rabbit,
cast?
as you get closer to it, Pastiche, the rabbit kind of like takes a hop away from you, and then as you continue to get close to it, it just kind of like hops and like boop, 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 speeds away.
Wait, as it like starts to move away, I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals at the rabbit.
What's the range on? Oh wait, no, itself. Never mind. What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm casting Speak with Animals, and then I'm gonna like call towards the rabbit. And say, "Wait, friend, my compatriot means you no harm." I'm like saying that
like
toward
yelling like 50 feet away.
Oh, is it 50 feet away?
The
I didn't
rabbit's
realize it was
far
that
away. Pastiche managed to slink all the way over there.
Oh, okay, then never mind then. If it's,
Okay.
I thought it was closer. I misunderstood. Then never mind. I'll undo it all.
Okay.
Chuman is just enjoying this with crossed arms.
The Snow White rabbit just boop 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 hops away. It kind of like it's still within sight. It just kind of boop 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 and then hops to like the next set of crates, and then it just looks back in your direction. You can tell that it's looking at you, Pastiche, and then it just kind of dips between some crates and it's out of sight.
Pastiche is going to visibly deflate a bit, turn around back to the party, and as he walks up to them, say, "He looked at me."
Well, if it's truly what's the word? Endemic infestation, as they say, then I'm sure you'll have another chance at it.
We are here for a week after all. I'm sure you'll see another.
Pastiche poorly hides their eyes lighting up on hearing that, and responds, "Yes, yes, of course."
You'll get your chance.
The mess began a week of Pastiche trying to catch a rabbit.
I'm hunting wabbits.
Alright, so, yeah, but what do you guys want to do? We can go into the downtime stuff, or you can finish up today, or like fool around with Pine if you like. And in
I will
fact,
say-
Pine says, as Pastiche returns to the group, so what do you want to do?
In general, if you think... Oh, actually, I can say this for downtime stuff, actually.
Okay, let's just go to the downtime stuff. So first, everybody roll a d20 except for Xalia.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Go in the group chat.
Nice D20, let's go.
Okay. And let's see. Xalia, since you are not a part of this, we'll actually just kind of skate right into your downtime first. So what's that? What would Xalia like to do?
Well, I gave you the list, so we're gonna determine which one she feels like right now.
Yeah? What happens the first day?
That would be number 5 on the list, which let me just go back real quick. That I believe that's reduced. Oh no, she's looking for any sightings of that bronze dragonborn.
Okay. So, you're
Following
there.
those rumors.
Yeah, so you're there in the inn where your party left you, with your disheveled clothing, slightly singed textiles, and you look around, and then get up, brush yourself off. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay. Let me pull up where's their character sheet. There we go. Not bad. Okay, so you walk around, looking for something of interest, something that would pique your curiosity, just anything that's interesting in this town. While there are some buildings and some establishments that promise interesting things, there's something else on your mind. So you look around, and you manage to find some people that look like they know what's going on in the world. I find the local gossip mongers, right?
Exactly. You believe that you might be able to get some information from these people. How are you going to go about doing it?
Well, she'll walk up, all surreptitiously, you know, as she does. Maybe a little bit weird gait, why is her knee going backwards? But, you know, usual. So it's gonna try to get their attention, head tilt, wave, you know.
You see that it's maybe like two people kind of sharing a drink on a stand-up table. The drink looks like it's kind of amber colored. It's got two straws in it. One of them's got like little small circular kind of colored sunglasses that are just barely on the bridge of their nose. The other one's got like a little beret. They have stripy shirts. And as you walk up towards their table, you at the very least get a look for them, and you have their attention.
You will, like, kind of just do a quick, like, respectful, hey, thanks for your attention, bow, and then snap her finger, her 3D illusion of who she's looking for. Head tilt.
Okay. What do you look like right now?
She's kind of in her baseline right now, which is, other than being a little bit, you know, burned and scraggly, which is to say, mostly human, till you look a little too close and you notice the teeth and the horns and the too many eyes.
Okay.
But, you know, mostly there.
Alright. Well, you appear to have diverted their attention from yourself before they can get a really good look at you, to this 3D illusion of a person that you have procured of a bronze dragonborn lady. And coupled with your head tilt, you can you roll me performance just for funsies?
Okay.
Not bad.
He's performing social nicety.
Yeah. The so like how to like interact with people socially, and the manners that you're taught, and you know, back home when you used to live.
I don't know if they would have taught her manners.
They might have attempted.
Yeah, attempted for sure.
Attempted for sure.
Well, fair enough.
Well, at any rate, you get your point across. And the one with the super small lens glasses looks kind of like leans over the table, looks forward, and just to confirm, they ask, "Well, are you asking if we've seen this person? Are you asking like where they are or who they are? What my trail off?"
She'll kind of do an overly exaggerated shrug, you know, do a motion that would break most people's shoulders, And then just kind of hand rolled out, illusion just kind of changes to kind of a sprawling mass of whatever.
Sprawling mass of whatever.
Very hard to visually communicate that idea. She's doing her damn best. It's not. It's like a map kind of spreading out in all directions.
Okay. These two people look at each other, and then look at you. It's like, well, yeah, sure. I've seen this person before. I can say they were just about as strange as you, if you don't mind me saying, and then, tip the beret.
Bailey will kind of nod and thumbs up.
And they were a little, I'm not quite, you can see like a grin kind of creep over their shoulder. I'm not quite sure if I remember exactly.
I know what they want. Let's find out with Xalia, if Xalia knows what they want. Yes, she figured it out. She'll pull out, I don't know what the standard is, she probably won't, but for her, if this isn't much, she'll pull out 5 gold and just kind of put it on the table.
Okay. As you remove your hand from securing the 5 gold, you can see their eyes kind of go wide and their expressions change. They're like, they give you some smiles, and then they immediately just snap up to your attention. They start talking a little bit more quickly instead of trailing off and droning. And they say, "Yeah, sure." This person passed through. They were a little strange. They were just mumbling something. It took us a little bit to kind of hear in and lean in, but they're pretty good at listening to others. They were just mumbling something super strange about there's too many demons in town to properly think and plan. What does that mean, right? It's just books here. And they take a little sip of their drink. They seem preoccupied anyway. They're just clutching a red book, just looking around constantly. I didn't see where they bothered off to, but they did make it a point that they were leaving. They they gave some sunglasses to the Doomstriders over on the east gate on their way out. You should see Aloxodon wearing sunglasses. It looks hilarious.
They will kind of, she'll visibly deflate a little bit on they left, but she'll kind of smile and nod, do a thank you, and then just head off to the east gate.
Okay. They do clearly indicate that they left completely, left Lampshade entirely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you are at the east gate. You can see some Loxodons wearing sunglasses. You're not sure how it works, but there they are.
It's okay. Xalia is also wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
To hide all the eyes. She'll walk up. She'll kind of, wave him over, snap fingers, standard illusion that she's made so many times at this point, and just, head tilt. It's the programmed response to her at this point. It's just automatic.
Well, go up to these dutiful people, and they greet you. Hello. How may we help you? Just this slow, kind of rote recitation.
They're not responding to the illusion of the Dragonborn.
I thought we hadn't gotten there yet. Oops.
Oh no, she's opening with that.
Okay. You are looking for this person, yes?
They will nod.
Well, I would love to have talked. They're just jostled by another Loxodon. It's cut it out. Not today. And Loxodon kind of limbers up, removes their sunglasses, and then takes a look at your illusion that you have there, the bronze dragonborn. And there's a recognition in their face. And
Xalia's gonna make the illusion's hand extend, and with their sunglasses in it.
Why, yes. This is the person that gave us these sunglasses. They're certainly useful. definitely helps us see out here in the long hours in the bright sun. They're not here anymore. They left maybe a few days ago. They headed east through this gate.
Gonna have a question, like a map with an X flittering all over it with a question mark.
Oh, where did they go? Not sure, unfortunately. They didn't say, they didn't really interact with us, except just to hand us the sunglasses. We thought, you know, strange at first to just be mumbling the entire time, but once we got the sunglasses on, it seemed nice. But they just had this book with her and just mumbling. Didn't really catch a place name though.
Okay. Valia will kind of just nod. And then, well, actually, at that point, she's gonna... The map is gonna get a compass that's clearly labeled, and out to the east direction, she's gonna, like, make a bunch of fake cities and just kind of question marks there. Like, over the cities. With the one in the center being clearly marked as Lampshade.
Okay. Walks it on, smiles, and then looks around, kind of, their trunk kind of wiggles a bit, and then using their trunk, they just look at it and then kind of point their trunk to an approximate city that is somewhat east and south, so southeast. If I were leaving through this east gate, that would be the next stop that I would make.
Okay.
That city is, you seem like you're not from around here. That city is Ituusk.
How do you spell that?
Tretosk.
Okay. Alright. Valia will nod, do her little bow, and then just go back to the hotel for now, I guess.
Okay. Anything else you want to do? Like, say, we'll give you tomorrow as well.
Okay, well, time to roll another d5. Well, let's make it a d4 so I don't double up. Alright, bottom of the list again. I believe this one is...
Okay.
No, yeah, this one is researching a fly spell, so she's going straight to the library.
Yep, there you are in the lovely library. It's kind of homey in here. It's nice and balmy. They keep it. They keep the temperatures easy. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check or an investigation check.
Well, she's a lot better at one of those.
22. Alright. Let's see. It'll take you, like, you're here all day, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But through the research available to you from other scholars and wizards trying to attempt the same thing, like, you pull out book after book and just over the subject, over arcane theory, over magical applications, over over like how the like over all the laws of aviation. You get many failed accounts and people falling horribly to their death, as well as markers catapulting themselves into the air. But with the help of a nice little librarian, also pointing you into some less used archives, you managed to piece together enough to get something to practice, and whatever you come up with, also expels fire and smoke like a rocket engine. But over the next 6 hours, and probably like a day or so, and trips to the grocery store to get more arcane ink and such, you have you have what you think would be the workings of a good spell. 150 gold.
I mean,
later,
Herbert.
150 gold later, you just need one last finishing touch.
She does not have that much money.
Okay. You realize it would take you some amount of funds to create this.
Okay.
But after you acquire that much money, and then you realize that you would only need one last finishing touch. It would be a wing feather from any bird would do.
She wishes she took one from the griffin. Wait. She's gonna try to shapeshift her own.
The DM takes a look at the notes. Let's see.
In theory, what she's trying to do is figure out how to make magically force herself to be able to shapeshift wings, essentially.
You know what? That's very clever. I'll allow that. You can take your own shapeshifted wing, or your own
Alright.
shapeshifted feather.
Okay. And did that bypass the 150, or do I just need a 150 on top of that?
You need a 150 on top of that because that represents like the time and like
Right.
the research and the ingredients and stuff and scripting the spell.
She will put a pin in that then.
All right. Next up, who's next? Who's got the highest? Is it Twig?
Looks like Twig.
I think so.
Twig, what would you like to do during your downtime?
Alright. First, Twig would want to probably go to the library
Okay.
and just look for any material he can find about the Curse of Wandering or his jeweled desert rose.
Okie dokie. This would be an investigation check, or a history check. Your choice.
Investigation or history? Alright.
Okay. And then what are we looking about?
Either the Curse of Wandering or anything connected to his jeweled rose.
Okay. So the Did you get an 8? Okay. So for your jeweled rose, you scour the tomes and truly spend all day just in fervor trying to find something that would clue you into the mystery of this jeweled desert rose, but you find no mention or any topics about what this might be. Exasperated, you just kind of sit down, take it out, and gaze at it. You're just sitting relaxed, or so actually you're probably like sitting kind of hunched over the table, exhausted, just mind, or exhausted mentally, just looking at it, kind of like thumbing it over in your talons. Gaze at it, scrutinize it. You get the feeling that this is important to you and that it might represent something about whatever some broken phoenix statue thinks about you. But the truth yet remains a mystery. As far as the Curse of Wandering, though, you do manage to find some good information about that, even with an 8 roll. The information is easily available. The curse dates back as far as historical records that you can locate exist. Like you just gather the assistance of a nice little librarian lady and just help you and confirm it. There's some subjective accounts that seem to equate it to when the God Emperor Wenceslas left Khorzaire. And then some other ones point to the end of the Civil War when like demons and horrors started spilling forth from Cyril. But these books contradict themselves clearly from just like a matter-of-fact position. Learning and confirming the circumstances is easy enough. When a living creature dies, if what it is dead, of course, and then like the sun of whenever the sun over Khorzaire hits it, it is subject to being filled with what the books call wanderlust, and the creature moves about as best it can in a seemingly aimless direction. Wanderers are always hostile to the living, and it's mentioned that the deceased are handled by town leaders.
Okay.
And that's what you get with an 8.
So would it basically be like the end of the day by now?
Yeah, it'll be the end of the day by now.
Okay. Twig's gonna stand up, stretch a bit, thank the librarian, and then try to find some place to sleep for the night.
Okay. The librarian that's been working with you throughout the day will remark when you leave, as you say goodbyes and you're welcome. You're looking up info on the curse, eh? And you wonder why they're talking like this, because they look like a spry, like regular, middle-aged person, but they just have this way of speaking. A bronze dragonborn lady was in here the other day doing the same. She rented out all of our tomes and had them splayed over that entire long table over there. You might ask the head of town on the subject, Bufoka. He's been doing research recently on the subject. He holed himself up recently, though, for about a month, and something about having a breakthrough.
Twig, like halfway through the first sentence, he like started writing this down. he's like nodding along and says, "Thank you for the tips."
Good night.
Twig waves goodbye and heads out the door.
Okay. We'll give you the next day too.
Okay. The next day, Twig would go shopping.
Yeah, it's time to shop. Okay.
Specifically, he'd be looking for a place, either a place that sells like more magical items, or maybe this is like a distant second, maybe a Sparker's Guild.
Okay. You do find kind of like near the place Pine was in the eastern kind of town. There are many shops and such. Some of them boasting equipment, like adventuring equipment, spelunking equipment. Some of them boasting whatever like magical concoction that they've created over the past day. That kind of stuff. What are you looking for?
Basically just like anything to help him see in the dark.
Okay.
Maybe spelunking equipment sounds promising.
Give me a perception check or investigation, whichever you like.
Perception.
Okay. A 20. All right. So you're looking around, seeing if anything that is here that could help you out with your goal. You see, spelunking equipment. You see people with shovels, grappling hooks. None of this is about trying to see a little bit better in the dark. You see some goggles that could be interesting. They are labeled Goggles of Night, which sounds pretty cool. Night goggles. Maybe they've got night vision goggles. And you start like thinking in your head. Maybe they've got like infrared. Maybe you start seeing heat. Maybe you can see invisible people. But as you're like brewing this in your head, the idea gets larger and larger. Your keen eyes land on a jar, like a just a regular cylinder. It's got a stopper on it. It's got just a regular jar, and in it seems to have some kind of like shimmering, glittering, starry liquid. It appears to give off the impression of a night sky. You can see that it is labeled a star jar.
Our jar.
Jar Jar Binks.
That's where my brain went as well.
You two both take 1d4 psychic damage.
Yeah. Would Twig be able to ask the shopkeeper about the star jar?
Absolutely.
And the goggles as well.
Absolutely. What do you go up and say?
Twig like waves high, and then points to the goggles first, and says, "Those goggles, will they let me shoot lasers out of my eyes, or what do they do?"
No lasers here, but
Twig deflates a little.
they do look pretty snazzy. I can see how you would, how these would catch your eye, and they lift them up, and then they give the impression of some sort of like the way the goggles are like fashioned, and then like how the nose piece is, and how like the rubber bits are intended to go over someone's eyes. It actually gives the impression of like an avian nature, like an avian persuasion. Somewhat vaguely owl shaped, and you can see
fit
like
over quote speak or Twig speak.
yeah, sure. It even has like a little mini beak. You can see that the lenses are extremely opaque. Well, not extremely opaque. You can see the lenses are opaque. They're kind of like green. The shopkeeper goes on. These, well, there's been some excavations recently, and there's been a need for seeing down there without everyone choking on their torches. So we created these. Still in a testing phase, but we're confident enough to give them out to the populace. We call them the Goggles of Night. Figured it was a fancy name. But yeah, wearing these with the lenses on and over your eyes, you can see in the dark. It's pretty excellent. They're since it's a brand new thing, they're a little pricey though. These are we can let them go for no more than 1,000 gold. We still have materials that are still hard to get, you see.
Twig like digs around in his bags for a second, like his purse, and then he like looks up at the shopkeeper with like puppy dog eyes and says, 1,000 gold.
Aye, 1,000 gold. If seen in the dark is what you're after, but we don't necessarily have the funds. You might like this instead. I know some people are a little squeamish about putting things in their eyes, but this might be fun for you. They move this glass cylinder that was previously labeled underneath the star jar area. They move this towards you, and you can see inside this jar, it's got this inky liquid. There's like small little multicolored motes of light that just kind of swirl gently through it. The shopkeeper kind of picks it up and just kind of like shakes it a bit, just agitates it, and the jar, the motes flare up and just blink and glow and flare brightly.
Twig just watching along wide-eyed.
This, you can see it has a stopper on it, so it's clearly not a potion, and not something you quaff anyway. And so the shopkeeper goes on to describe this. If you This is kind of like the base stuff that we make out of, or that we make these goggles out of, you see. This is partly why the goggles are so expensive, but we're able to make this in much larger quantities than we are a unique set of goggles. This, it has a unique liquid in it. We haven't named it yet, it's just star stuff. If you use an eyedropper to drip a few drops in your eyes, you can see in the dark. It is pretty excellent, and it is much like it is a tenth of the price of the goggles.
Twig thinks for a moment. And are there any side effects with this star stuff?
No.
Oh, well, in that case, you're sure the goggles are 1,000 gold? if you give them to me, you can think of it like field testing them. You should be paying me, really.
Make a persuasion check.
Not bad.
16. All right. The shopkeeper kind of grins and sighs, like, "Well, I've heard that more than once. I wouldn't mind giving you a discount on the price, but it would still be rather expensive. These are difficult to make, and they're expensive to make. We can't just be doling them out here and there until we're confident that both they work, and also that we can obtain an easier supply of the stuff that makes them, the stuff that goes into them. I really couldn't let them go for any less than 900 gold. Otherwise, I would be taking, a loss, and I wouldn't be able to make many more of them."
Twig nods and says, "Alright, that's fair enough. I suppose I'll go with the star stuff, then."
Excellent. 1 jar of star stuff. He just gives you one from... There's like a little small stack. He just gives you 1 jar, just plucks it, bloop, and then here you are. Just 100 gold, please.
Yeah, Twig counts out 100 gold. Like, individually in gold, and
One.
dumps it on the counter.
Alright.
Thank you.
You now have in your inventory Star Jar. It's under consumables.
Like that icon.
Alright, anything else you want to do today?
No, Twig's gonna start heading out the door. Taking one last longing look at the goggles.
They taunt you. They're tantalizing as you guys. You swear like they turn towards you. They're like. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to the next person. Who's next? Chuman. What would you like to do during your downtime? I didn't get any notes, but
Yeah, that's on my thought. I've been
surely we can do it live.
fairly busy, but I'll make it work. First off, Chuman is gonna go sell off some items that he has. Some gemstones, quartz, and a heavy sand.
Okay.
Let's see what money he can pawn off for it.
Okay. We'll say it probably takes you the majority of the day, just in finding the correct buyer, and turning down bad offers and looking for good offers, selling it to other adventurers, that kind of thing. Go ahead and make a charisma check. Just straight charisma. Not bad. Okay. So what are we getting rid of?
We're getting rid of a jade, a gemstone, chipped quartz, and some heavy sand.
Okay. The gemstone you can get 50 gold for, just from a passing adventurer that remarks that they could probably use it for, one of their spells or whatever silly magic. Then the quartz, since it's chipped, it unfortunately is. It actually takes you most of the day to get someone to get it off of you. And then finally you get someone like reluctant to, but it nets you 10 gold.
And it still smiles at selling it off.
Yeah. And then for the rest of the day, like until evening, you're trying to get this heavy sand out the door. Like you've you've built a sand castle. You've borrowed some parchment from Pine, and you've done everything you can do. Said sand to go to good home. And then like you've like found some deflated balloon and like reinflated it and attached it to the sand, and then finally, a sand connoisseur comes up. And they ask you how much the sand is.
See if caught your eye. 10 gold is all I need.
10 gold, eh? What makes this sand worth 10 gold?
Oh. Despite its name being sand, it is quite sturdy. As you see, it is fairly heavy. It can take quite a beating. So I'm sure there's quite a bit of applications you could find for sand such as this.
Is it poundable?
Of course. Why, you can have your own demonstration.
The person begins to pound sand. Indeed. This is as you say. However, I have seen many sand like it. Usually the going price is 5 gold for such a specimen of sand.
Well, that would be the case. However, no one else is selling sand here. After all, we are in the desert, but this is quite different from what you would typically find.
I'm gonna roll a d20 to see if anyone is actually selling sand. Amazing.
Aww.
Okay. The gentleman looks around. You might be right. Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage because you're selling sand in a desert.
Desert! In the desert! Land connoisseur.
God, if you managed to pull that off, you'd be the greatest salesman.
I was close.
Well, I've seen quite a bit of sand in my day. I'm afraid 10 gold is too steep for me this day on this sand.
Oh.
I must go.
That is understandable, but wait, before you go, is there a price that you're willing to compromise?
The person bends over and really gets close to the sand that you have out on display and peers into it. You can see their nostrils flare, they're sniffing it.
Chuman is unfazed. It's pure poker face as he does it.
I would pay no more than 3 gold and 2 silver for this.
3 gold. You said before that they were selling for 5 gold. Are you sure you're not trying to undersell it?
No, it was merely a haggling attempt to see if you would budge from your original price.
I would budge from the price, but not for 3 gold.
I understand. I wish you luck in your selling.
Chuman just looks
They walk away.
poker face as he walks away.
You can see him as they walk away. You can see him bring just a little tiny little a gold a gold pouch. they dip their fingers into the pouch and bring out some sand. You can see that it's sand just between their thumb and forefinger and middle finger. They just put it in their mouth. And then then they continue walking.
Chew chew.
Delicious.
Crunch crunch.
Chuman just slowly nods. and then and then leaves, not even grabbing the sand.
Must be great to be that dude in the desert.
Why do you think he lives here?
I almost got him.
Almost got him.
Alright. Alright.
Mission failed. We'll go to next time.
You said that was the majority of the day.
Yeah, it's nighttime.
Okay. Let's see. So,
I'll give you tomorrow too.
Chuman is gonna go to the library, and he's gonna see if he can find anything over the mark that he has, the mark of Phoenix.
Oh yeah, okay. Make an Arcana check.
Go to my sheet for this.
Okay. Low roll, unfortunately, but you do manage to find that you find out that your phoenix, your mark of a phoenix or a bird or something like that, you do confirm that it is of a phoenix, and you learn what you might have already known is that it's called the Mark of Finding. It is one of many things called a dragon mark. Many noble houses or people that tend to be in positions of power have such a mark. They're just different things that help them excel in their tasks that they seem to take position for. You find out that there are several different kind of grades of this mark, and the bigger the mark is, of course, the higher the grade is, or the other way around. It's difficult to find about much more about the Mark of Finding. It's suspiciously less explored than the other ones are, but you do manage to find that like it just has a little blurb, like a factoid of people that have this particular Mark of Finding are often highly skilled investigators or prospectors. People. That's unfortunately all I can give you at the 7.
Gonna say, does it have like any names referenced on there, or
Let's see.
are they just left out?
Not with a 7.
I think Chuman is gonna go mostly ask the receptionist at the library
Okay.
if there's any more particular information over the Mark of Phoenix. Anything that's not necessarily in the library or that is being researched.
Oh, make a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Well, you see, a 4. Well, you see, I'm sorry that our books don't have the information that you seek. You know, once again, you're not sure why they're talking like this. They would just look like a regular, person around your age, human, fit. I apologize. It seemed kind of like stumbling over their words. It seems like this is causing them distress that they weren't able to have the knowledge there for you. If you might, well, for sure you would get it. You would find the information in Zozo.
In Zozo?
Zozo, of course, is the capital of the nation of Durlask. Pretty much any information that is worth knowing is there.
I see.
I'll have to order some books on more marks and dragon marks.
Do you know if there's anyone I could, or rather, anyone you could refer me to in capital Zozo?
Well, not necessarily anyone in particular. Make another persuasion. Another 4. Yeah, well, not anyone in particular. You might try one of the merchant princes or the merchant king to see if they are available.
Can Chuman kind of like check the body language to see if the receptionist is hiding anything?
Sure, that can be an insight. You peer over them. Alright, you've rolled 3 4s in a row.
Alright, sure, I understand.
They seem a little distraught, like that you weren't able to find what you were looking for in their library has caused them unhappiness. So like they're trying to plan for the future and trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again. That's what you get. Well, that's what you get with a 9. Sorry, a 4 plus. A 4 plus 5.
Triple 4. Chuman is just going to take a long sigh and then says, "Well, thank you for your resources. They were quite helpful, at least." And then takes a quick bow and then heads out. Did that take? How much did that take up?
It'll probably take you most of the day. It's evening now.
Okay. I think outside of that, Chuman is just going to kind of do a little bit of archery training until late at night.
Okay.
Before going to sleep.
Sure. You work on your training and practice, and you keep the town safe from these nefarious stationary targets. Let's see who's next. Pastiche.
Alright. Pastiche is gonna spend most of the day just kinda about town, asking people about any local dances and whether there are any local dancing instructors.
Okay. Make a persuasion check. A 14. Okay. After asking a string of people, and one person points you to the other, you do manage to arrive at the doorstep of a building. The building is named Fountain of Youth.
Okay.
And you can see, like, it's a 2-story, just like any other construction here. You can see, like, there's posters, and it's like that are just in flowing calligraphy. It says, "Find the Fountain of Youth through dance. Stay forever young through expressing yourself in dance." And then you can see that they're offering like a like a new member discount. They've got this double glass doors. You can see in, and then there's like several kind of standing tables that are for standing people height. There's a couple like huge thick chairs around smaller sitting tables. Plenty of water available, and that's what you see from outside.
Well, let's go inside.
Okay, you go inside, and it's cool inside. All the windows are open. You get a nice cross breeze, and there are people dancing. There are many kinds of dance here, taught here anyway. but you can see that everyone appears to be practicing some kind of quickened waltz. You can hear the music, like the waltz music, the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, on in the background. Many people moving in pairs of motion.
Pastiche is going to just kind of loiter for a bit, observe different people dancing, and then look for a front desk or anything that looks like a place to get registered.
Okay, yeah. So you linger a bit, and there's a do 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 do. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then after a while, yeah, you go around and you find someone. There isn't like a front desk or anything. You do find someone that does not have a partner, and they appear to be wearing different colored clothing. They've got a clipboard, so they're clearly official. You walk up to this clearly official person. They've got orange curly hair. They've got black leggings on and just like a flowing, like pinkish floral print shirt that's barely hanging on them. A lady. Got a little sprig of mistletoe in her ear. Well, hello. Hey.
Hello. I would like to dance.
Like to dance? Well, smile curls over her countenance. Well, you're certainly in the right place. Have you ever danced before?
Oh, here and there, but I've no professional experience. The name is Pastiche, by the way.
The lady is going to remember her name. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Alright. She introduces herself as Fenot. Well, my name is Fenot. Nice to have you here. Well, sure, we're happy to teach you. Happy to teach anyone. We guarantee that once you become accustomed to dance and you do it each day, you'll feel better about yourself. You'll be more confident, certainly, in your steps. Is there a particular dancing style that you prefer?
Oh, I'm honestly not sure. I was hoping you had a recommendation for me. Someone of my build, my stature.
Well, she kind of thrusts her hand forward and kind of like lightly taps, but firmly taps your bicep, and then you just kind of like instinctually like raise it, and then she does it again and kind of like uses the toe of her foot to kind of like tap each of your ankles, like to move them apart. It's like, Well, we have a waltz going on. Would you like to dance with the waltz?
Certainly. Is this going to cost much?
We'll see. First, let's dance, you and I, and we'll see how much it is worth.
Oh, of course.
And Pastiche disappears into the Fountain of Youth dancery, and you dance with this lovely Fennot lady. It is so on the realsies. Is Pastiche good at dancing? Has Pastiche ever danced before in their life?
A little bit.
Okay.
They wouldn't be awful, but they're certainly no expert.
Okay. Get a little bit of throw me performance. Certainly no expert.
I'm using my inspiration.
A 0. 1 minus 1 is 0.
A little bit better.
It is better than a 0. It's not as funny, but it's better. Alright. Yeah, so you dance with Fennot. There's several instances where like you two kind of clash. There's the tried and true stepping on her feet and everything. Before it goes on for maybe like the rest of the waltz anyway, before she finally explains that Pastiche, my dear, you mentioned that you had danced, so I didn't mention it before, but this is a waltz. There is a certain order to things. Let me first teach you that when you waltz, there is a lead, and there is a follow. So please allow me to lead, and and you just simply match my steps, okay?
I will do my best. I'm sorry, I've only danced alone in the past.
Well, dancing alone is commendable, but we'll see that you have a partner. And through more lessons throughout the day, Pastiche, you are charged some amount of gold. And as you're winding down, Fennot smiles at you and says, well, I think that's all for today. Shall I see you again tomorrow? There's more to learn, and I think I think there is a dancer within you. There's some to benefit as well.
Most certainly. Thank you for your time.
Of course. This is a question I like to ask all of my students. What brought you to my place? What brought you to my business? Why do you want to dance?
Oh, just personal interest. I have not spent much time pursuing my own desires lately, and I thought now seemed like a good chance.
Roll persuasion or deception, whichever that is. She smiles and nods. Anything else lingering in there you would like to tell me? Is there someone you want to impress? Dancing is one of the ways to impress people.
It is a long story, but yes.
That's fine. You don't need to. I just like knowing it, all. Knowing the background helps establish the dance floor, you know?
Of course, of course.
Well, my lessons are 15 gold each. Since you came in, we have a sale going on. I'll give you a quarter off. You know what? I'll give you a third. How about that? Just promise me you come tomorrow.
Of course.
No.
I wouldn't dare skip.
I'll find you if you don't. Or if you do. And instead of the normal rate of 15 gold, you are charged 10 gold for this lesson.
Sick.
15 gold in the future. And you have begun the ability, you have begun learning how to dance. You can now somewhat almost dance. you have an idea of what dancing might look like.
Yeah, we're getting there.
All right. You are. Excuse me. I didn't mean to cough into the mic. You are sore, by the way. Pastiche, although having a particular set of talents, is not used to moving their body in this way, and handling their weight in this way, especially for such a time like just doing it, marathoning it. You are sore, and your muscles ache and everything. You actually have a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Just the entire thing tuckered you out. And that exhaustion level keeps until you stop going to Fanon. But it does not increase. It's just a constant one level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Alright. Do you do the same thing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so deduct 15 gold. Fanon greets you with a bright smile. There's a quicker pace song going. And she greets you and, well, let's get right into it. And you give me a performance check with disadvantage because you're exhausted. Hey, alright.
Exhausted but improving.
Yeah, she remarks on this. Oh, I can sense that you are tired, Pastiche, but I commend you on sticking with it. Not many people make it past the first day. But with each day's training, you can see what it gives you. And she gestures out to the rest of the dancers that are on the dance floor, still practicing. And their movements are flowing, practiced. They look phenomenal. Like they're doing something that no one else can do. Like it's that assertion and that confidence that they have in them that you don't see kind of out on the streets of even like street performers. I also see that you are improving. You're taking this seriously. That's what I like. And yeah, you get marginally better at dancing.
All right.
And then if you continue doing this throughout the week that you guys are doing your downtime, then yeah, just deduct we'll say 45 more gold, and you can roll me one more performance check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Very nice. Fanat has this like glowing smile on her face. Pastiche, let me tell you something. You're a dancer. It was hidden within you somewhere. She slaps you on the chest. But we have brought it out, and now on display.
I did tell you I was here for me. I wouldn't want to disappoint myself.
Very good. No, there's more to teach. Get back on the dance floor. Again. Again, do the steps from the top. And,
As you wish.
Pastiche says, completely out of breath.
She claps her hands. Alright, one more. And, Pastiche dances the week away. You may decide that you learn to dance, yes, and you can, and whenever you perform this dance, you can add a bonus to your performance check for it.
All right.
All right, who's next? Is it Zoaz?
That would be me,
Let's go,
Zoaz. I forgot to send you notes. However, I think this fits pretty well because Zoaz got blindsided by being asked to hang out with Pine. His intent was to find a temple to Selene, but I mean, Pine is such a nice guy. You know, he hasn't sat down for a good meal in a while, so I think tonight at least Zoaz would spend the night out on the town.
Okay. Yeah, hanging out with.
Regaling Pine with tales of this latest journey.
Excellent. Yeah, so you regale the tale to Pine. You're the friendly orc who has helped you and your organization with all sorts of supplies. Pine's huge shoulders laugh like he would each of his laughs, and you have him riveted with your tales.
Nice.
Let's see. He will also tell you that Zoaz, he's heard some things. Zoaz, you see, I've got some things to tell you too. I understand that you are bringing something to somewhere. You always are, but this time you have a parcel.
Oh, not on me, but I am helping escort a parcel, yes.
Well, I heard from your compatriots back in Tenudo that it's going to Olga. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, we, well, some things led to other things, and, you know, politics, paperwork, bureaucracy, and, well, my friends and I will be spending some time here. Well, it'll be a long week.
Well, I'm sure you'll get it done.
Already started the stay off with a woman crashing her experiment into the fountain and nearly killing a few civilians.
Oh my!
Mobile artillery.
It was well, nobody was badly injured. I managed to save off the worst of it with my friends, but it was certainly a start to the visit.
Well, that is certainly startling, but that's just like you, Zoaz. We are always quick on the up and up. I bet you're quick thinking saved everybody.
Maybe not everybody. We give some credit to my compatriots.
That's why I like doing business with you Moonlight Shepherds. Honest, modest.
Well, I do my best.
And full of coin. But I didn't say that.
I'll make sure not to tell the people who are in charge of acquiring supplies. But, have you heard anything else about, our group? I mean, you were aware of me delivering this parcel, or escorting this parcel.
Oh, well, no, I don't really know much more about your group. I had only heard that from Elaine.
You've been in contact with her.
I saw her in Lux Nox. She
That's where
mentioned
she's
that you had this task and she had to turn it down.
Yes, indeed. One of Makayla, you helped her. She had been planning on meeting up with her. Had been stood up by Elaine. It's, curious. We'll have to let her know.
Alright.
Perhaps the visit to Luxnox is in order.
Since you're headed... if you're headed there, definitely... definitely. It's always nice to stop in. If she's still there anyway, she seemed frazzled in a hurry. And, usually she's the one... usually she's the one guiding, but this time it seemed the other way around.
Indeed.
Or guzzles down his drink. Bartender, another.
And Zoaz will follow suit.
And then Zoaz, the lizard man, and Pine the orc enjoy the rest of the evening, just talking about stuff, saying stories,
Catching up.
catching up.
It's been a while since Zoaz has seen Pine. It is good to spend time with his best bud.
Let's see. I realized I skipped Makayla.
Oh.
Makayla rolled a 13. Makayla, what would you like to do?
Continue. Zoaz.
Okay, well, Zoaz, what would you like to do tomorrow?
Zoaz would probably wake up with a bit of a headache. After spending a night out in the town with Pine. He's pretty good at egging him on, but having done that, he would probably go find a Temple of Selene and help out around there.
Okay. Roll religion.
Okay.
Ooh. What would you like to do here?
The idea was just to help perform services, perhaps do some busy work that they need getting done. Just, be a helping hand.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. They are in need of some helping here. There's this old there's this old man that comes in. You quickly learn every like end of the week, and he's just so fussy about things being done in a certain way, about how people give reference to Selene, and you are aware of these kind of old-timey methods, and and you help him settle down and give him a little smiley there, and of course help out in other areas, keep things organized, and perform some rituals and stuff, and some rites as well.
Perhaps not the libations of milk and wine that the more staunch, stubborn people will do, but Zoaz will certainly do his best.
Yeah. Even marry somebody, conduct some ceremonies.
I got a spell for that.
Yeah. Someone's coming of age is coming up. You conduct that ceremony. So yeah, overall you're a pretty big help, Zoaz. You're a well-traveled individual. You're powerful. You're strong. You know what's up. They pay you for your services.
Oh.
Roll me a d100.
Alright, come on, big 100.
You get 46 gold for your services.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, you make some money. And also, many people you have helped many people. That's the greater reward.
Yeah. That was the goal. The money is just a very, very, very nice side effect. Smile.
Alright. And I realize we're actually coming up on time because of our late start. That's my
Uh-huh.
fault.
No big
It's
deal.
okay.
Let's see. You guys want to do Makayla's bit before we head off, or
Yes.
should we just?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go,
Yeah.
Makayla.
Sure.
What would you like to do?
So I suppose I'll just try and find a some sort of church to try and find someone to dispel the curse or whatever the enchantment that's on like the tome.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
To,
So,
so that further research wouldn't literally kill people.
all right. So you do find a temple to Selene.
Mm-hmm.
You peek in. There's Zoaz.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then working together, you can find someone that is available that works at this establishment. So both of you you find a person. You find like just an overall like rectangular human. They've got like a white shirt, gray overalls.
Mm-hmm.
The Zoaz, during your time here, you know this person is Flandress. And then, so you come up to this person. Then Zoaz, you're confident this person can exhume the evils from this book. And Makayla, what do you do?
I guess, I mean, I generally try to approach her. Excuse me. I was looking for someone who could try to. Or wait, sorry. Are we ever playing this, or is this?
Are we?
Sorry, I'm kind of tired.
If you don't want to, we don't have
This
to.
up a little bit there.
We can truncate
Okay,
it.
I wasn't sure when you said what do you do is like
Yeah.
just had a moment of like in this specific current situation or like what do you do next? Sorry, I was just mixed up. But yeah, so she just be like, I'm looking for someone who can help me dispel some kind of malign enchantment on this tome.
They look over it. Aye. Cool book.
Looking at the text seems to cause physical pain to the reader.
What's it about?
Well, that's the question. Some sort of memoir of someone, but I'm trying to find out. I only have from the work of a Sparker a few towns back. I have a few pages sort of translated brute force, but I think it would be much easier going through the rest of the book if it didn't have this curse.
You can see Flandress holds out. There's like a rectangular hand waiting for your rectangular book.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me see it.
Yeah, sure. I hand it over.
Okay. They kind of look at it, turned over a bit. What's bad about it? And the entire time, they're just genuinely this flat. Just what's bad about it?
Are they like? Well, I suppose it might be easier to simply experience rather than describe. Open it up to one of the first couple of pages and try reading it.
Okay. They open up the book, just thumb a few pages in. Pictures. What's this one? As they begin reading one of the, or looking at, or attempting to read one of the pictures on the book, you can see kind of like the way they're holding it. You can crane your neck and see what they're looking at, and this illustration, it depicts a massive flame, so bright, and so hot that you can feel the heat on your body. And as you hear just like a bird call in the distance, and like this massive like bird-shaped flame comes up from the book and just flaps its wings. I need you all to make a charisma saving throw.
Me? Okay.
Does this include Zoaz?
And it includes Zoaz.
Sorry, what was the saving throw?
Charisma.
Charisma.
Okay. You both take 8 fire damage.
Ow.
Okay.
This book is potent.
That is a different curse. I was just like, just got these ones. That was a different effect than normal, but I suppose that proves shows my point.
And you can see now that Flandris is engulfed in flames.
Oh my god.
Their hair is on fire. They're just running around screaming, "My hair's on fire!" And everything around you, as you blink back the flames and like you look around, everything is on fire now. The book is on fire. That is now on the ground, by the way. Flanders is like running and screaming. It's like stop, drop, and rolling, trying to get the flames out. You guys are on fire as well, and you take 3 more fire damage. What do you do?
There would most likely be a fountain or some source of water, correct?
Yes.
Assuming it is not a holy reliquary that is that it is blasphemous to so much as touch, those would probably make for the source of water to put out the fire. First
Okay.
on himself and then on other people.
Alright, quick decision. Let's see, can I change the music for this? Okay. I didn't preload it, so you probably don't hear anything right now, but...
I got it.
I hear it.
Great. Alright, so yeah, everything's on fire. So, Zoaz, as you quickly bring yourself... And how many other people? Were you
Well, first off, Zoaz is going to try to get himself defired, put out.
Sure, it'll take your movement and your action to run over to this fountain that is suspiciously within 30 feet of you, and you roll yourself into the fountain and get yourself off.
Okay.
You are now unignited, but there is now many more fire. What else?
Of course, Zoaz would
Fine.
not have. I prepared different spells because I figured, like at least one rest is going to happen. Of course, I took off Create or Destroy Water. The instant it would have been useful.
Clerics.
Would have been useful twice today.
It would have been useful twice today. I believe that would be it.
Okay. Makayla. You take 3 more fire damage. You can see that Flandres on the ground has stopped like rolling around and now appears to be on fire. And also like the area around you is also on fire, including the book on the ground and yourself.
Oh, fun.
Everything so everything is suddenly an emergency.
What? I said first few pages. Few is not just flip to red. Whatever. Yeah, I guess Makayla would try to, grab onto the name was Flandre, you said?
Yeah.
Flandre, and I guess cast Zephyr Strike just for the movement, for like the double movement speed.
I think you have to make an attack in order for the movement to.
Yeah. So okay. Grapple. That's an attack.
Sure.
Or if anything, I don't know, swing at nothing.
No, you can make an attack. That's fine. You make grapple. It's a special attack.
Yeah. It's a special attack, right? That makes sense. I grapple Flandre, then get my extra 30 movement speed so I can properly drag her, because you have half if you're trying to move someone else. So run to the water that Zoaz just doused himself in, and try and get us, like, and douse both of us, I guess.
Easily enough, it works. you grab Flandres and then just with just as quick as the wind, you rush yourself and them over and just jump into the fountain. And you are now beside a wet lizardfolk. You are no longer on fire, but Flandres seems down for the count. And also your book is on fire, and also that room is on fire.
I mean, this isn't like actual, or is this actual, like, I only have action, bonus action, or is this more like free form?
It's kind of free form. I'm not gonna hold you fast to initiative.
Okay.
But what would you like? What would either of you like to do now?
Because from this position, Makayla would probably try and use her swarm hand to, like, pick up and move the book.
Okay.
Is it, like, open?
Yes.
If it's open, she'd try and, like, while picking it up, close it.
Okay.
If that at all would impact anything.
Okay.
And try and just, like, I guess, douse it in water? I don't know what to do about the whole room, though. That's not really Makayla's
yeah.
I guess you just shout, like, fire, so we need someone. Anyone who can cast water magic.
Zoaz would probably... So first off, is anybody else in the room on fire currently in need of help?
No, it seemed like Flandres was the only one
Okay.
that was operating there at the moment.
Zoaz is going to use the spell Sending. And he's going to... One of the Loxodon Dunestriders is who's going to send this message to. And it is going to be this, like, the Temple of Selene at, you know, whatever location they're at, is on fire, send help.
Okay. You get the sense that your message has been received.
Okay. And then Zoaz is going to start evacuating people from the temple as best he can.
That would help.
Okay. So you begin evacuating people as the fire just spreads and this heat begins coursing throughout the temple, or like moving throughout the temple, and eventually the Dunestriders show up with like huge barrels of water and like some kind of like hose mechanism. And then
Here's where we learned that it was an illusion, and we just called the fire department for nothing.
And maybe, you don't know. And they run in with their buckets and like their like put water there mechanisms, and after a few minutes, the Dunestriders come out. Where's the fire?
Zoaz, like, bewildered, thinks for a moment, puts two and two together, and groans.
It must have stopped when we took the book out of range, Makayla says to herself, like, nodding, as if that's the conclusion that she gets to. Not the, oh yeah, it was probably illusionary fire.
Zoaz, embarrassed, quietly at first, I may have called a false alarm, and then louder, as I assume they tell him to speak up, kind of almost yelling, I may have caused a false alarm.
You know there's a penalty for this.
Zoaz nods says nothing, hands still covering his face.
Well,
Look, hold on. Is Flandre's like should be somewhere passed out? They're like,
you never said you let them go, so they're still in your hands.
still would be holding on to them. Are they like actually burnt at all?
They appear to be actually burnt and unconscious.
Well, clearly there was something, some sort of fire. Is it like just look at this? Look at this. I don't actually believe Makayla ever got their name. This one has burn marks and like looks over herself. You know, some of her clothes, fresh new clothes, unburnt is now burnt. This was a fire. I suppose it must have been tied. I guess, do I also still have my like bird holding the book?
Yes.
Yeah.
The book's still on fire.
Oh, that's still on fire.
Yeah.
I point to the book, and say this thing caused the flames. I guess once we took it out of range of the room, the fire there ceased.
As soon as you say this thing caused the flames, they just like squirt it with a hose and just water plows into it.
Is the fire gone?
It like gets plastered away from your swarm hand and is like skidding across.
Yeah, it's more than 10 pounds of force. Yeah,
it's like skidding across the streets as they continue shooting out of the water. It's still on fire.
I think we might need a dispelling magic. Unfortunately, like looks down. This is the one we came here requesting for that.
Don't worry, man. We'll take care of it. And there's like have the water hose just over it like a watering can, and it's just continuously.
Do not think that is working.
Don't worry. We've got it under control. About like 30 seconds go by. Nothing happens. Nothing changes.
Zoaz has walked off to like grab Doomstrider and explain he called a false alarm and needs to find question mark.
I'm sorry, you got kind of a robot there. What'd you say?
Zoaz is looking for a Doomstrider to converse with to explain that he called a false alarm for a fire and needs to pay the fine.
Turning himself in.
Yeah.
This wasn't a false alarm. It was real fire, or maybe real, but like fake real fire.
There's a heavy hand that goes on Zoaz's shoulder. It's like, oh, don't worry. It seems that this is something kind of in between a false alarm and a real problem. Don't you worry, Moonlight Shepherd. We'll take this strange book in for custody, and it'll answer his questions.
That's not how this works.
It is. Don't worry, we'll handle it. So, like, they take the book and just kind of like hot potato it into a barrel of water. It's still on fire, but then they close the barrel and the Doomstriders move away, and they appear to be wrapping up. One's lingering, just kind of like calming everybody down, and talking with you, Zoaz. Don't worry, we'll handle it.
Zoaz has his both hands over his face, just mortified. Just we were supposed to just have a relaxing week. For the people dropping out of the sky with exploding machines and books setting the Temple of Selene on fire. Oh, goddess, forgive me.
Open one of the first few pages. That has literally never happened when I open this book.
Oh, Zoaz isn't blaming you or anything.
Even the Tinker managed to not burn down, or the Sparker managed to not burn down what they
That
opened
is
this
true.
thing.
Of all people, the Sparker managed to not set the place on fire when opening it.
Truly
I
a missed
will-
opportunity.
Flinders is
Really?
clearly very skilled.
I'll take care of this and any repercussions it may have. This is not your fault, and I'll take the responsibility. Sorry for getting you wrapped up in this. I know you wanted to just simply peace and quiet for once.
Not your fault. The cursed item had a completely unforeseen reaction to being read. Quite literally, it had never done this before. How could you have known?
No, I guess there's no such thing as too much caution when it comes to cursed items.
Good lesson to keep in mind for the next time we have a cursed book. Not a.
Let us
especially
hope there is
common.
no next time.
Indeed.
Well, I guess this is what Makayla's dealing with for the week, is trying to get the book back and dealing with the law, I guess. Retain
Bureaucracy.
custody of book.
Alright, stay tuned next time for the exciting adventures of Makayla.
Makayla goes to jail.
Makayla goes to jail.
Oh no.
Hey, I guess you found a free place to stay in the end after all.
I already paid for the inn.
Wow, 2 rooms?
Alright, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there as the Doomstriders cart off the inflamed book in their giant barrel of water. These huge hulking Loxodon Doomstriders. The Temple of Selene is intact, and no harm appears to have come to it, except for 2 of its inhabitants and 1 guest. As Makayla ponders to herself how to retrieve the book, and Zoaz laments over what will probably be the week.
Yeah, having to start doing more literal busy work, repairing the temple, and, you know, making reparations for having set the temple of
Gotta earn that 46 gold.
having set the temple of his goddess on fire, even if inadvertently or accidentally.
Okay. As Zoaz mentally prepares himself, that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Alright.
Alright.